How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There are some big Bitcoin buys, there's some big Bitcoin news, and we could see a quick dip from where we are right now. I want to explain why that is, but why this isn't making me bearish long-term or anything like that. It's just something that is, I don't want to say bound to happen, but fairly likely to happen for us to drop a little bit lower than where we are right now. But we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what this means in terms of liquidations and everything you need to know right now. There's actually a lot going on this week. There's a lot you should know right now. So I'm going to try to move quickly throughout the video. If you don't mind, though, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, there are people getting banned on YouTube, so check out my Telegram underneath the video. There are also some extra, there's extra information. I just updated a trade there. So if you want to check that out, you can. Also, if you want to trade crypto, you can check the link out in the link tree to BYDeFi. This is my favorite platform right now to trade crypto. We just got done with a big event where we actually give away like $13,000 worth of Bitcoin. So in my Telegram, I talk about how to claim it. I think this one you actually do have to claim, but it's really simple. It's in the reward center. And yeah, there's a deposit bonus event going on right now. So if you make a deposit, let's say you sign up under my link, you deposit money, you get a bonus, and then you can start trading, get used to the platform before the next big event where we're giving away, or BYDeFi is giving away crypto. Of course, let's roll the disclaimer. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. This is not legal advice. Do your own research. I'm never going to reach out to you either in the comment section or through any other means to try to get you to invest in something that I'm investing in or to send me crypto. Some links underneath the video are affiliate links. I may earn a commission, but this is at no extra cost to you. Of course, do your own due diligence. All right, so Bitcoin is falling down a bit today. You can see 93.2. Now, this is to be fairly expected when we were above 100,000 still. When we were like maybe 104, 105, we discussed that there are CME gaps down at 97,000 and then 92,000. So I would not be surprised to see us go down a little bit under 92 to fill that CME gap. The traditional markets today are a little bit cautious. They're down a little bit, about 0.4%, because there is a big week ahead in terms of economic data, in terms of earnings as well. So Bitcoin is down a little bit. We also have altcoins down as well, with Ethereum approaching 3,000, Solana at 135. So there's just a general bleeding in the market, and I realize that's tough, but we could see a little bit more of a dip if we fall down and fill that CME gap. If we fell down to 92,000, we would see on the one-day liquidation map about 885 million liquidated. Of course, there's probably a little bit more than this that could get liquidated. So actually, let's look here. 7-day shows something like 1.1 billion. Obviously, there are a lot more shorts that would get liquidated if we start moving back up to that $105,000, $110,000 range. And we've talked a lot about, bear market, bull market, that kind of stuff over the past few days, so I won't get into that too much. But don't be surprised if we see a quick dip just to liquidate a little bit more of the longs and to fill in that CME gap. Again, I talk about a trade that I am setting up in the Telegram, so check that out. Now, we did have a death cross over the weekend. Benjamin Cohen explains this. This has kind of marked the bottom the last few times this has happened. But if we go into a bear market, you can see in 2022, we had a death cross and we fell down a lot from there. So it's just like a question, does this mark the bottom, or does this mark, the start of the bear market? That's a big question on people's minds. Now, let's look at who's been acquiring Bitcoin. Strategy acquired nearly 8,200 Bitcoin for about $836 million. Now, the unfortunate thing is they bought this at $102,000 per Bitcoin. This is over the last week. This is just unfortunate because it seems like they almost always buy and the price is lower, whether we're going up consistently or going down. Like somehow they lose 2 to 5% on every purchase, like right away when they announce it. But they're acquiring more and more Bitcoin. This was a fairly big buy. This is the biggest buy I've seen in a while from them. If we click here, you can see how they bought it. So they had STRF stock that netted them about 4.4 million, STRC stock that did 131, STRK for 0.5, STRD, and then MSTR was nothing too. So they had 136 million that they acquired from this. Honestly, I haven't looked into this too much, but I'm kind of curious how they acquired the rest of this. You can see, they just talk about the purchases were from these offerings. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I haven't looked into it too much to see where this extra capital came from, but yeah, a pretty nice purchase from them. Now, we also saw Harvard recently disclosed a massive $442 million stake in Bitcoin in the BlackRock iBet ETF, which is higher than they had before. They increased their exposure a lot, and actually, this is the largest position in their endowment that I can see. You can see the next is Microsoft at 332 million, then Amazon 235. So yeah, they've acquired a lot of Bitcoin in a very short period of time. Good for them. Tom Lee bought a lot of Ethereum this week, 54,000 Ethereum. They currently hold 3.6 million Ethereum, $11.11 billion worth. I actually thought that they had less. I thought they were at 3.1, but apparently they've been buying more than I even thought. So they have a paper loss of $3.2 billion right now, but that can change obviously very quickly. You might be asking, okay, well, all these people are purchasing. Why is the price down? Well, obviously there's some kind of sellers, right? Arthur Hayes has been selling some Ethereum, not enough to offset what Bitmine's been buying, but you can see some wealthy individuals are still selling. Arthur Hayes sold about 1,500 Ethereum over the last 2 days. He also sold some other cryptos as well. The last time he sold ETH was August 1, right at the bottom, and then just 9 days later, he bought ETH back at a higher price. So don't think that they're always just geniuses, right? They can make mistakes too. Wealthy people can make mistakes and go more risk on after going risk off. We also heard from Tom Lee kind of explaining what's happening right now, why maybe we're having some weakness, and that could be due to the liquidation event that happened, I think a month ago now, maybe a little bit over a month ago. I think it was October 10, but there could be some liquidity providers or market makers that are still bleeding a little bit from that liquidation event. 95% of the total supply of Bitcoin has now been mined, though. This is so crazy when you think about this. Like, Bitcoin's gone from a couple pennies or under a penny to now being worth $100,000. And this is when 95% of the supply has come to the market in the last 15 years. Think about what's going to happen as, more people want to buy Bitcoin, as more people get bullish on Bitcoin and want to accumulate 1-2% positions in their portfolios. The fact is they're going to have to buy from the existing supply just because there's not much left, 5% of the supply. So 19 out of every 20 Bitcoin have already been mined or in circulation right now. There's still a lot of extreme fear though, right? People are cautious about the traditional markets. People are cautious about AI and AI spending. People are cautious about going too risk on with something like Bitcoin. People still think Bitcoin is risky. Yesterday we hit 9 on the fear and greed. Today we're at 14. Still historically a good time to be buying. I mean, it's not like you're going to nail the bomb every time if you buy at 10. But it's typically, a good buy and hold if you're going to hold for multiple years, right? Just be careful right now because there are a lot of people reporting misinformation. Like Elon Musk and his companies are selling crypto. Is it really over? This is not true. We also had people saying crypto billionaire Eric Trump is selling all his crypto. Is it really over? And it's like the same exact wording. And the fact is they're not selling, right? I mean, they could be, I suppose. Maybe they're wallets that we don't know, but there's a lot of misinformation. Be careful. There's a lot of FUD spreading just to freak people out and get engagement. So be careful. There are some catalysts. The U.S. plans to finalize a trade deal with China before Thanksgiving. We'll see if that happens, but that would obviously be great for the markets. Now, there's a lot of stimulus right now, too. The U.S. is preparing a $2,000 stimulus check. At least that's what Trump is claiming. Japan is preparing a $110 billion stimulus package. China approved a $1.4 trillion stimulus package. The Fed is officially ending quantitative tightening on December 1st. The U.S. is issuing $1.9 trillion in treasuries per year. Canada is restarting its quantitative easing program. M2 money supply is at a record $137 trillion, and global rate cuts are at 320 plus over the last 24 months. We have to be cautious because there could be more inflation, and then rate cuts are gone, and the federal banks are going to have to start raising rates again. But you can see, like, we're going to continue to see more inflation. We're going to continue to see more and more money printed, which should be good for risk on assets over the long term, right? People want to buy scarce assets. Now, this is a big week. We have the housing starts, unemployment report. We also have a lot of economic data next week, including GDP and PCE, right before Thanksgiving. So it's going to be a volatile week. Also, the biggest event might be NVIDIA earnings, which are in 2 days. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, NVIDIA is the largest equity in the world. And keep in mind, too, if we see a further dip, right, don't rule out investing into other assets, right? I bought a decent amount of Alphabet. This was one of the stocks I bought the most of this year, along with Amazon. And since the bottom, it's up 97%. It just came out that Warren Buffett took a position in it. But yeah, don't rule out good quality companies as well. I think diversification is key. And some of them are bleeding. Like you look at Metastock and it's down, let's see, over the last 1 month, it's down 16%. From the peak, it's down 24%. And the company's still growing revenue, still growing earnings and all that. So, pay attention to other assets too. I talk about some of that in the Telegram too, in my portfolio, what I buy, etc. Now, let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. If you do want to trade crypto, like I said, there's a link to BYDeFi. It's in the link tree. You can start trading, get ready for the next big giveaway event. I just posted some of the results too. There are a bunch of people that got some money. So check that out. Also, you can deposit right now and get some deposit bonuses if you're a new user. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you.